Welcome, movie fans. Thanks for joining us for episode 129 of Reading Between the Reels, the premier podcast of skyscraper acrobatics. If you're a new listener, we're so glad you found us. If you've been enjoying the show, please like, follow, and subscribe, and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. You can also support the show by posting on your socials and by joining our Facebook group. I'm Craig Dickinson. I'm joined tonight by Corey Heidschmidt. Justin is out tonight, but wanted to say Blade Runner is awesome. So there you go, Corey.
That's why he got kicked off the show right there. That reason alone is enough to get you kicked off the group here.
It didn't needle you a bit there. But how's it going, Corey? What have you been up to? What have you been watching?
It is good. I tell you what, I just wrapped up yesterday Star Trek Strange New Worlds, and I am loving that show. I'm just going to say I am a Trekkie. At some point, I'm going to branch out and do a Trekkie podcast. I think I have to, because there is so much to talk and unpack in this new series. And I haven't gotten into Discovery. I haven't gotten, I've just been I wouldn't even say that I remember watching a lot of the old original series. I think I was a new generation kid and our next generation. But this I took into, and I'm telling you, it's fantastic. And if they stop, like the plan is they're introducing all the original cast characters. They're bringing them in kind of a season. Here's another one. They brought in Scotty this season. And so we've got Kirk and Scotty and Spock, and they've all worked together, and and a couple little nods to the future. And the plan is to go 7 seasons, and then they stop once the whole crew is finally assembled, and it now is supposed to become the original series. Horrible mistake. That would be a horrible mistake to stop.
Yes.
Redo the original series. You have got a cast assembled. I'm going to throw that out there. I don't care. I'm not going to sit there and say that original series is like the end-all, be-all, and we can't touch it. It is outdated.
Hot take. Oh, my Lord.
If you watched Shatner fight the Gorn, you know it's outdated, and it's time to bring in some new stories. This is the same reason people freaked out about Star Trek reboot with Chris Pine, and those things. They're like, oh, we just can't touch those stories. Do it. Because
just do it. Hot take.
Even if you rewrite the series, do the same stories, then fine, but make them a little more like realistic, believable with what the current thinking is. Because writing today is better than writing 50, unless you're talking Twilight Zone.
Yeah, I was going to say,
unless you're talking Twilight Zone, writing today is better than stories of writing 50 years. I'm throwing that out there. If someone disagrees with me, they should get on and post stuff, but I'm going to call it right now. This is fantastic.
Okay. That's interesting.
So, and I do have to add this, sorry.
No, you're good.
The guy who plays Kirk in this series ended up on an airplane after he got told he was going to be Kirk, sitting in first class next to William Shatner, who was coming back from some event. And he couldn't tell William Shatner, he had an NDA, so he couldn't even tell William Shatner, I'm going to be playing you in about 3 months. And but he had a conversation with him. He talked to him, all these things, had a great time. He said he was fan drooling over William Shatner, who's just great to talk to anyway. And then ended up William Shatner called him, gave him his blessing, and so he's only the second guy to ever play Kirk on a series.
Oh, okay. You're not
on a
TV
movie series.
Okay,
other than Chris Pine, he's the only second guy. So which is kind of cool. There you go.
I know.
Us Trekkies get passionate, okay?
Yeah, no, I love the original series. I love it. So we may have to have that debate another time when that's like all we talk about. But I was just remembering, and I think we talked about it when it came out. But did you watch the short that came out? Probably 6-9 months ago, where it was like Shatner, and it was Shatner's Kirk in the afterlife.
Yes, I watched it and I teared up. Did I tear up? Yes, I'll admit it.
So my point was fantastic. My point is like, why can't Shatner just play Kirk forever at this point, like with deep fakes and whatnot? Because a lot of that was
hold on, that's a whole episode to podcast on.
Yeah, because that was
where do we draw the line if we can deep fake? We started it in Star Wars.
Yeah.
And some of these family members are signing over rights to get paid for using the likeness of their famous dead relatives.
It's getting closer and closer.
I mean, there's a whole podcast episode on that.
Yeah. Anywho.
Oh, man. Craig, what are you watching?
So, well, a couple of things. Gen V started back up again. So Justin and I were talking about that.
2 episodes in that. What do you think?
Yeah, I watched one of those tonight, and Justin's not here, so I can't talk about Alien Earth, which just wrapped up yesterday as of this recording, and we probably won't talk about it too much because we try to stay positive on this show.
Oh, it's bad. You don't like it?
Yeah. Okay, so here's what I want to talk about that is positive then. Spinal Tap 2, The End Continues. And I know you haven't seen Spinal Tap 1.
I have not. I don't.
And I'm going to make you guys watch this.
I've heard that name so many times. I don't.
I mean, it is a classic. It is one of the seminal comedies. I mean, it's mockumentary. It's, we talked about this a little bit, that, you wouldn't have things like The Office and Parks and Rec and Modern Family or what have you, because it's that. Well, anyway.
I thought it was a horror movie.
No. It's 3 American guys playing British rock stars. Just start with that. And
okay, I might be on board with this.
No, I think you'd really enjoy it. It's. I mean, you like The Office quite a bit. It's that same kind of, what did he just say kind of humor. Anyway, went to see Spinal Tap 2. The End Continues. Great title. Yesterday, and I've said this to a bunch of people today. I don't think it's as funny as the first one, but it's a lot of ways it's like a love letter to the fans of Spinal Tap. Like if you've seen Spinal Tap and grew up with Spinal Tap, seen Spinal Tap a few times, you're like, oh yeah, they're back, and like this is for me, and it's heartfelt in some ways that I wasn't expecting, but also still really funny, and ends in just classic Tap fashion. And but my favorite thing I have to mention, and Corey, you probably won't get this because you haven't seen the movie, but this was playing in Theater 11, which I don't know. You don't know what that means, but our listeners that know Spinal Tap will know why this one goes to 11. Was that
intentional that they did that, or just pure coincidence?
I asked them, and they said they didn't do it on purpose. But
it's hilarious that they did.
When I bought my ticket, and he's like, "Yeah, it's in Theater 11." I was seriously, yeah. So Google Spinal Tap 11 later on, and if you don't know, and it's pretty great.
It's an intentional thing, kind of like 42 in Hitchhiker's Guide. Like Spinal Tap.
It might be the most
11.
quotable thing from that film.
No?
Anywho,
okay. These go to 11.
These go to 11. This one goes to 11.
My volume is up to 11.
There you go.
There you go.
Tonight, though, we're not talking about Tap. We are talking about Inception. Again, we got a second episode on Inception because there's just so much to talk about. Mm-hmm. So the last time you
could say that this is another level that we've had to go to. We've had to go deeper.
So we covered cinematography and sound in episode 128. So if you're looking for those, it's in that section. And we started with performance and talked about quotes. And I know, Corey, you had to drop out. I did. So you had a few more quotes that you wanted to talk about that were important quotes from Inception, and then we'll continue with performance.
Okay. I'm going to talk about, when it comes to Inception, I'm going to say that this quote is one that I feel summarizes the whole thing for me. An idea is like a virus, resilient, highly contagious. The smallest seed of an idea can grow. And when Cobb's talking about that, I feel like that is kind of everything in here. You know that every single thing that they thought of, did, said, mentioned, picked up. I mean, even to where Ames says, you mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger, darling. Like, it's just an idea. It pops in your head and it goes. And then when they're walking through the dream worlds and he has an idea in his subconscious and all of a sudden, people appear. It's just their subconscious starts to attack them. I mean, all these things. So it's just kind of this whole thing wraps up for me based off that. I also, I love this. I love movies where they have some kernels of truth. And I feel like that is a kernel of truth about life also. And that's what Nolan does. He brings that kernel of truth that I can throw something to a lot of what he does and puts out there that it can mean in our real world and stuff that we're talking about. So I don't know what you thought.
Yeah, no, that's great. Well, I mean, Justin and I shared a lot of ours last time. One of my favorite one was the one about the train and it doesn't matter like where the destination is because you'll be together. And I'd mentioned how that's why Dom can't let go of Mal.
Yeah. Yeah, and she keeps coming up because he just can't let go of her till he finally does. But and then the last quote, I'm going to throw this out, and this is, do you want to take a leap of faith or become an old man filled with regret, waiting to die alone? Right there. Tell me that's not a quote for life too, right? None of us want to be an old man filled with regret, just waiting, to die. So it's about taking that leap of faith and going. So those are the quotes that stand out to me. They are powerful because they're applicable to life.
Yeah, and that's a perfect transition into what I had for my very first for body language and facial expressions, is just that like 1,000-yard stare that Cobb has when he begins to remember why he's in Saito's castle, and when he has that look of disbelief.
Yeah.
Right. He kind of gets it. He hears that because that line gets repeated, like you just mentioned, and it's like something clicks. Oh yeah, there's a reason that I'm here. I'm here to get Saito out.
Leonardo does that stare a lot in this movie. One,
Yes.
It's a famous meme where he,
Yeah, it really is.
But he also does it when he first gets down to the world that him and Maul created, right? When they come down that elevator and he takes, oh my gosh, I just blanked on her name.
Ariadne.
Ariadne down there. He opens up the elevator thing, and when he does, he has this piercing stare that he does. Like Leonardo does that multiple times in multiple situations. It's always 1,000-yard stare somewhere, and I don't know what it's, whether he's building stuff as he goes or what.
Yeah. Another thing that stood out to me, and for some reason it didn't click with me the first few times that I watched this film, is when we see him up in that apartment after the first job, and he spins the top. It's the first time we get to see the top, and he's got that gun next to his head. He's just kind of holding it up right here next to his head, next to his ear. And it kind of just looks cool, and I was like, oh yeah, that kind of looks cool. Maybe he's just deep in thought. And then to realize upon further reflection, he's waiting to see if that top is going to fall, and if it doesn't, then he's going to use that gun to wake himself up. And I hadn't thought of it that way. Like he's ready. Like, and it's every time for him. Yeah, he knows. Like, I have to make sure this thing falls, and if it doesn't, I have to find another way out of this dream.
Yeah, I'm stuck on this because in my mind, I feel like the whole movie's a dream, and so. But I thought, I mean, if they're dying, doesn't that make them go further down?
So, well, later there's two theories on that, right? Because once they're going into Cillian Murphy's dream, they're trying to get him, right? That they've had to use the sedatives to get it so they could go deeper, and so that's when they say no. If you kill yourself here, now you're going to go into limbo. Yes. But normally you kill yourself and you're right back out. And we see that at the beginning, right? They like Arthur gets shot and he wakes up like right away. So you're allowed to kill yourself, like you kill yourself in the normal, just one level down, then you wake up and you're good.
And that's the point of the military tech for it, was training soldiers, and when they die, they wake up and learn from their mistake.
Yep, game over, start again, respawn.
It's all very convenient. Whole thing's still a dream to me. I can't.
We'll definitely unpack that.
We got to unpack that.
The last thing I just had for that was just whenever the subconscious projections just stare like all at once too, like, and choreographed, just it's freaking creepy, and I just love how choreographed that is.
Would scare you to death. I mean, at some point you start to turn into a nightmare a little bit, like, oh my gosh.
Yeah.
But yeah.
And the sound drops out, and then it's all at once. Did you have anything for costumes, hair, and makeup that you wanted to talk about? I have a handful of things, but I want to give you a chance to chime in.
I do got to say, when they're down in the snow world and all of a sudden they're in tactical gear and the weapons they're using, it's just amazing. And the part that I would highlight with that is how Ames just has like he has such a swagger, and I can't understand. I mean, I see why he plays Bane. I think he's just incredible. Tom Hardy's fantastic. But But when they're down there, just the way the white, everything's white. They're on the snow. I thought it was a good look. I love the costumes in there. It made a dream armor type thing when I look at it. So for the crew, I thought it was great.
Yeah, well, I think one of the reasons that works is something else that I was looking at was that mostly it's dark and muted colors before we get there.
Yeah.
Like everything they're wearing is dark. The one thing I noticed was a little bit different was like every time you see Leo, basically he's in a suit.
Yeah.
Right. Dom is, except for when he is kind of walking through Ariadne through the dream world for the first time, and he's in like cotton clothes, like nice cotton pants and like nice jacket, but like very comfortable. Like just the way I took that is like he's more comfortable in the dream world than he is in the real world. In the real world, it's very buttoned up.
Yeah. Right.
He has to present this image, but there he was just like he's kind of relaxed because this is his environment.
Did you notice Maul is always kind of a classic look? Like she's always almost like she could fit in a Spider-Man noir movie, you know? Kind of she does not look
40s
fancy,
and 50s.
New, like it looks this vintage, very classy, middle of the century look. And she looks amazing in it. She just always has that noir elegance.
That femme fatale thing. Yeah.
Yes. So.
That's a good pull. The one big thing that I want to talk about though was Eames.
Yes.
Like first we meet him in Mumbai, and he's got like this polyester, huge collar, and then the paisley. And doing some research on the paisley is great because the way it was described when I did some research, it's a pattern that morphs, like it's curling in and folding back on itself, and it changes. That's kind of the way that goes, and because that's what he is. He is a chameleon, right? He is, and he's kind of like hiding in plain sight in that regard too, like that, because he like with the woman, and like he's loud and obnoxious. Like that's the way he blends in by being obnoxious.
Yes,
and even down to like their line about dream a bit a little bigger, darling. Like with the grenade launcher, like everything about him is loud.
Yeah, and then down in the dream world where they're in the ice, the snow, he is all of a sudden James Bond. So he's just amazing. So he full on encompasses the idea, which he says is a quote, "You mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger," right? Because everything he does is big in the movie and how he handles things.
Yeah, he's an agent of chaos.
Could be.
So moving on to setting and design. This was Oscar nominated for Best Art Direction. We're seeing a lot of that with Nolan's films. This one we mentioned last time. It's Guy Hendricks Diaz, who doesn't normally work with Nolan. It's Nathan Crowley normally, but so obviously there's lots of sets in this thing. We had we talked about a little bit about the hotel that rotates, the room where we see Joseph Gordon-Levitt. I think I called him Jason in the last episode. That's a practical effect. As they're rolling him through.
Which is an amazing shot. It looks incredible. His whole part where he's like gravity-less is just amazing.
Yeah, and then the scene. Go ahead.
Well, I was just gonna say, and how he comes up with the idea. Everybody, I got to make a kick when there's no gravity. So and how he's moving through that. I don't know how, because not all of that set was rotating for that part, like where he's getting everybody gathered up. I don't understand whether they're just on wires or what.
I'm sure there's some of that too. Yeah.
Holy cow.
Because it's not CGI very much. Well, the thing too that I really like is the water at the beginning, and I've seen how they do it. There's some documentary stuff about how like they could get one chance at that, where because he gets dropped, Dom gets dropped into the tub, and that's how the kick happens. Well, 2 layers down, but the way that's represented in the dream world is just this tidal wave of water running in.
Yeah.
And then just got these huge tanks just dropping stuff. Again, all practical stuff.
Well, and then even they mentioned that where they first get into the dream world and it's raining and pouring, and they're like, you couldn't have gone to the bathroom before you went to sleep.
Yeah.
But just this notion, one small thing in the dream world creates a big effect. Like you have to go to the bathroom, so you're going to dream about a major rainstorm because you're still subconsciously thinking about water. So
But a lot of stuff filmed. Obviously, there's some sets like we talked about a little bit, like the castle. Inside the castle is on a set, but you do have things like the Bir Hakeim Bridge. I think that's the one, the Ariadne recreates.
Yeah.
That's in France, where she pulls the mirrors through there, and then my favorite bit though is that the train, and I think we might have talked. Did we talk about this in the last episode? I can't remember. That freight train coming down the street is a practical effect. They got a train engine on the chassis of a tractor trailer and just driving it through a street. And there's some augmented stuff to kind of clean up the body. So you don't get to see the trailer or whatever. But that is a real train running through a street. That's not CGI'd? The train itself is not CGI.
Oh my gosh. I didn't know that part. Nolan likes that. That's an amazing thing.
Yeah.
There must be a cost-benefit ratio on that they ran.
Well, he's such a stickler for real stuff, and it holds up so well.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I should have mentioned this earlier when we talk about what you've watched recently. The other day I rewatched I Am Legend. Hadn't seen it in a while. I think I might only seen it once when it first came out, which there's also tied to Nolan too, because there was a big preview for Dark Knight that came out right before Dark Knight, a couple months before. And story's great, acting's great, set decoration's great, CGI looks like garbage.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like the coloring's off, they just look rubbery, the Night Seekers. And so that's a thing where, you use CGI, and it's, the movie's from 2007. It's 18 years old now. Things have leapfrogged.
Iron Man was 2007.
Well, 8, yeah, but that holds up.
Avatar holds up.
I know, but it doesn't all.
It doesn't all. Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see some other things. Set decoration. I really liked there's a couple things I liked. Obviously, the hanging lanterns in Saito's castle, and we get to see them move.
Yes.
As the dream moves. But what I really thought was cool, my favorite piece in there, is that in Saito's dining room, when we get to see this at the beginning, because that's the one where Dom and Arthur go in to try and, looks like they're trying to recruit him, but actually they're trying to steal from him. And then
yes.
It's that same room later when they're in limbo. And I didn't notice this. I don't know how many times I've watched this movie. I didn't notice that it's a mirrored table.
It is. I'm looking at it.
You're seeing the reflections of Arthur and Saito and Cobb, which even more so lends to the what's real and what's not question, what's reality, and it's like, what a brilliant visual way to show or to have us question that. Like, which one of those is real? The one in the mirror or the one on the outside?
Oh, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then there must be something with the mirrors then, because they also bring in on the bridge when Ariadne and him,
she breaks it. Yeah.
She has this whole thing where she does the double-sided mirror, and you just see all the way down one and all the way down the other, which is an amazing shot, by the way, because anytime I have a mirror like that's lined up perfect, I'm in my head, I'm always going, where's the camera? See it, if there are movie mistakes somewhere. But it lines that whole thing up and just makes this labyrinth of mirrors, and then she breaks them. But symmetry.
I was just saying, just some other kind of cool things. The Penrose steps, that's that infinite staircase thing, which we get to see, kind of foreshadowed as he walks it through Ariadne at the beginning, and then he implements that in the hotel. And they have that great shot where he pulls back and it goes to like a bird's eye view, so you can see what it is.
For set decoration, is there a reason Limbo's got a crumbling shoreline versus all the other things that are sharp and clear and crisp? Nothing. All of a sudden you get to Limbo and it's like sand castle-y, know?
Well, I got the impression I got from that was that they were, it's unstable. That was the big thing that I got from that. Okay. Honestly. Is this place where you're kind of stuck. But it's interesting though, because he and Maul had been down there and lived till they were old people and had built that up, and then we kind of see the ruins of that. So it's kind of like, and we also know this because of the time dilation thing. They're on an accelerated timeline, so maybe that's just trying to hammer down how much time has passed. Yeah, as well. That's the way I read that. Okay. Yeah. As far as props go, we're kind of down to there. Like, obviously the top is huge.
Okay. Are we talking totems now?
Well, let's talk about the totem. But first off, I want to just mention one. Like, it's interesting that it was Maul's, and then Dom takes that. Like, think about the every time he does that, he's thinking about what he did to Maul.
Yes.
So yeah, let's dig into the totems, Corey, because I can see you're just like, let's do it.
Well, because the whole thing with the totems was you're not supposed to touch the totems. It's only something that I know. I know the weight of the dice. I know how it is. I have the chess piece, right? I have the top. But if that's Maul's totem, and he touches it, it's no longer Maul's. Is it Maul's and him? They can't share the totem. I don't understand that part where he's touching that. So, digging deeper into the internet of fan theories, which I always love.
Yes.
The fan theory is that his wedding ring is the totem, not the top. The top is not the totem. The top represents something with Maul, and the part with every time he's in a dream, he has a wedding ring, and every time he's not in a dream, he doesn't have his wedding ring. And when you go back and you look at still pictures, or you look in the video, it's true. The part where he spins the top and it falls, there's no wedding ring. That's the only and then the part where they're planning all this
when the
with
top falls, where are we talking about that? Are we talking about
the real world? When he's in the real world and he's got the gun and he's
okay. So
the
that's
top.
the scene we referred to earlier. Okay,
There's no wedding ring in there, and so the theory is that the wedding ring is his totem. That's when he knows he's dreaming, because he always has it. He can always see it. He can always feel it.
Okay, I would like to rebut.
Okay, you rebut it. You bring your butt over here and rebut it.
Well, what else is always in the dream? Maul's always in the dream. So it's that whole thing again where he can't let go. It's that train thing again. In the dream, he is completely connected to Maul, and that's why he has the ring. That's what I'm going to go with. Like, he can't break free of that. Once he gets into the dream world, he's right back there. He's reliving it all. He's got the ring back on. Maul's there haunting him. I'm going to say that's a tangible connection to Maul rather than a totem. That's my theory.
You have a point, because he at the end he doesn't have the ring. He doesn't have the ring on when he's in the children,
quote-unquote real world at the end, right?
And he spins the top, and we never see the top fall.
This is at the end you're talking about.
Yeah. And in my head, I picture that's another layer. He's still dreaming. I don't see that the real world. There's no way that's the real world.
I totally think it is, but I see where you're coming from.
Those kids haven't aged. How long has he been doing all of this? These kids are in the exact same position he's been dreaming about for however long in all these different worlds. Those kids have not changed. I'm convinced Maul is in the real world, and this whole movie is him dreaming. That's what I'm thinking. And and I think you're right. I think
I don't have
the wedding ring. Yeah. I think none of us do.
Yeah.
And Christopher Nolan ain't going to tell us, because his brother told him not to tell people that. That's when he stopped giving things away, because his brother told him not to.
Yeah.
I saw an interview about it. And so he wouldn't say, which makes me angry. So there you go.
Makes me happy that we don't know for sure. But no, I mean,
I don't love these kinds of movies that do this, Craig. For future podcast reasons, I'm just going to tell you, I need closure. I need definitive proof and answers to move on from.
In Nolan's films, I don't think we get that again. I don't think we get definitive ever again, Corey.
You
think about the end of Dark Knight Rises, not definitive.
The end of Tenet. I know. All of these upcoming there's no definitive
Oppenheimer's
answers.
Pretty definitive.
Okay, I got closure on Oppenheimer.
But that's a historical drama.
Just telling you, this guy, I love it and I hate it.
Pretty definitive.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was going to say, to just kind of add to fuel to your fire, to kind of add, there's more evidence for your theory, though, because again, it's the projection of Maul, and so if Maul is saying it, then it's him saying it, right? Because Maul doesn't really exist. That's his memory of her. Can we agree on that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, she's not really.
She's not real. So when she says something, that's him saying it to himself through the persona of Maul.
Yes.
Okay.
I feel like he's made her a projection.
He's tried to recreate her. He makes that line. He says that line. He's like, I've tried to recreate you in all your perfections and imperfections, and I just can't do it. It's not good enough, and all those things. So when he goes down into the basement, because that's where he hides his, all those memories and stuff, and Ariadne follows him down there at one point. But that last time they go down there, she says a thing about like a faceless organization coming after you and all of that stuff, like to try and say like that's not real. This thing that you're trying to get back to your kids, like it's way too close of a dream-like scenario for it to be real. So he might even think, well, then obviously if Maul's saying it, then he's thinking that. There's no way that you can fix this for me with one phone call. Like, that's ridiculous. How could you do that? To Saito's offer.
Yeah.
That seems pretty outlandish. So
then when he wakes up and Saito does fix the call.
On the airplane, yeah.
Isn't that a bit outlandish?
I mean, it is, but he also bought the airline. It seemed cleaner. Which
is a perfect dream scenario.
I mean, come on, but also
that's dreaming a little bigger, darling.
We love that when that happens in like Justice League. I had to get the house back from the bank. Bought the bank.
Yeah, but that's real. That's real life. Bruce Wayne in real life. That's not.
Okay. I know we could go round and round and round. And that's the beauty of it. I love it.
This is where you need closure on these things. Okay.
You're not getting it. It's a pleasurable torment.
And I will say this, that's the part about a movie like this that gets you talking. Mm-hmm. And here we are, 10 years later, still talking about this movie, still debating
15 years,
small little details.
Yeah, crazy. And, we talked about this last time too, which I love how just kind of matter of fact it is that this technology exists, because that's the thing I had too, that there's this thing, there's an acronym for it, which I love. There's the PASIV, the passive, it's the portable automated somnocin intravenous device. That's the thing that gives you the drugs. Like, it's just a regular thing. It's not a big deal. Like that one random kid on the train knows how to use it.
That sounds pretty dreamlike to me. Okay,
it's just common stuff.
That's convenient. And every scene, we're right in the middle of a scenario, right? Dropped in the middle, just like in a dream.
I mean,
we never see everybody show up. Like, hey, where's Craig? He's like 5 minutes late. Where's Justin? Oh, he's not going to show. Okay, so like we don't have any of those kind of buildups for any of the stories. So part of me's like, to dream.
We talked about this a little bit on the last show though too. That like if you look at this movie as a metaphor for filmmaking, that like it's very dreamlike. That we don't always get to see how things happen. I mean, this is a common complaint that Justin makes too. He's like, how did they bridge this thing here? Like it happened off screen. Like you're not always going to get that scene that shows how that gets there. We'll have this when we watch Dark Knight Rises. How did Batman get back to Gotham City? Because he's Batman. Like you're not always gonna see all the things that bring.
He's got a portal.
Yeah, or whatever. I don't know. So, anything else for set decoration? I mean, I had the pinwheel, which I thought was interesting. That pulls. There's that photo of the one happy thing that Robert Fisher had was with his dad, and he's blowing the pinwheel, and then they pull the pinwheel out of the safe. Well, in the dream world, of course, it's not really there, but it just hammers home that he's projecting. Yeah, my dad hung on to this one thing that I remember as being something good.
No. Yeah, no, set decorations, it's just a complete, the way that you go from everything, I mean, from Paris streets to folding streets to tight quarters. I mean, and the, fortress, the snow fortress. I mean, this whole thing is just incredible dreamscapes and set decorations.
Yeah, but so many real locations too. Like that,
yeah,
I know he said in some interviews and stuff that like he wanted to do kind of like homage to like a Bond film. It does feel like that when you go from Paris to Mumbai to wherever they're out in the Arctic, which is Alberta, Canada. But like you have these very different locations that aren't sets.
Yeah,
and I mean that's what he did with Batman Begins too. Like you remember how going from the Burton films where it's all on a set, it's all enclosed to super wide shots of him walking through, walking into Tibet or Bhutan rather. So,
yeah,
yeah,
build the world.
Yeah, exactly. So characters, we talked a lot about the characters so far, but did you have anybody that you wanted to talk about specifically that we haven't focused on enough?
The complementary skill sets between Ames and Arthur are great.
Yes.
Just how those two contrast each other. I think Arthur, in his own right, at first you don't see him quite as militaristic as Ames. Ames is always bigger, always outgun him, always very Bond-like, trading punches and still going out and shooting, solving the mission and being militaristic. And then Arthur you see as a little bit more smooth and calm swagger.
Yeah, and the clothing too. You see that.
But they're nice. It's like an improviser versus a technician. Like they're just the way they do things. So I thought it's a good balance. It's a good balance between those two characters is to have those two together, and then just that little snippy quote, "Mustn't be afraid to dream a little bigger," is a nice way to show that between the two characters. So.
Yeah, there's a couple of those things where he gives him a compliment and he's like, yeah, your condescension is welcome or whatever.
Yeah.
Something funny about that. It sounds, Corey, like you're advocating for Tom Hardy to take over as James Bond. Is that where you're at?
He could do it. He totally could. He would be a phenomenal James Bond. Personally, I think Henry Cavill would be fantastic as James Bond.
Sign me up for Henry Cavill as James Bond,
You
please.
put Henry Cavill as James Bond? I mean, he already did.
I know.
With his movie,
Man from U.N.C.L.E.
Man from U.N.C.L.E. That was incredible. Both of those two guys in that movie together had chemistry.
I want Henry Cavill. I want good things for Henry Cavill.
Gosh,
always.
Love Henry Cavill.
A couple of things of interest that I thought. I loved Leonardo DiCaprio in this movie. I also love that he has Christopher Nolan's hairstyle, and like that feels like a little bit of a self-insert, but that's okay. Not the first choice though, which I think is interesting. Brad Pitt and Will Smith were the first choices, and I don't see Will Smith in that at all.
I don't see him in here at all. I don't understand that.
It just Pitt. I can see Brad Pitt, but even Brad Pitt he's almost a little bit too charming to pull this off. And Brad Pitt's a great actor. Don't get me wrong, but I think DiCaprio does like tortured on a level that neither one of those other two guys does.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I don't know. Brad Pitt could have been good too.
I love
Leonardo.
Brad Pitt.
Just does this so
well. And they're
well.
great together.
Could you see him? Yeah. No, I think you look top to bottom casting on here is incredible.
Yeah.
No, I can't. I definitely cannot see Will Smith in this movie. Heck no. Sorry, Will.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to try and pronounce the last name. So Marion Cotillard, I think, the Asmal, she's French.
Yes.
And she's fantastic in this. She's got that amazing accent. And then, of course, we see her again. And we're going to see a lot of, most of these people show up again in Dark Knight Rises, quite frankly.
And it's typical Nolan. He finds cast members and what he does, he gets these movies and gets these people to stick together and bring them back in another movie. Sign me up, Nolan. I'm in for another one. So,
this is the last thing I want to say about. So, was Elliot Page now as Ariadne? And Ariadne, the name, if you don't know, listeners, is alludes to a princess of Greek myth who aided the hero Theseus by giving him a sword and a ball of string to help him navigate the labyrinth. Oh. So, not an accidental name. Super intentional.
And since Nolan's doing the Odyssey. So he's a big fan of the myths and legends like that.
Yeah. I saw a teaser poster for that at Spinal Tap yesterday. Sign me up.
Yeah.
Anything else? Lucas Haas from the kid that was in Witness has a little. He didn't have much of a career since he grew up, but he's in this a little bit. Pete Postlethwaite as Maurice Fisher, the guy that you've seen in a billion things. Maybe didn't know his name, but he's in lots of stuff. I always remember him as the guy from The Usual Suspects. He supposedly. Well, no, he actually is. He's Kaiser Soze's right-hand man.
He is. I remember from the Lost World.
Yes,
Jurassic Park. He's in that. He's in the Clash of the Titans one.
The newer one, the Louis Leterrier one.
Yeah, he's got 100 credits.
Yeah. You know, I just realized he and Leo were in Romeo and Juliet together. He played the priest in Romeo and Juliet, the Baz Luhrmann one. And I don't think they have any scenes together in this film, but some crucial scenes in that film. Yeah, great cast though. Like even like tiny little parts like that, you get an actor of that degree.
Yep.
Oh, he was in Dragonheart was the other thing I saw him in recently.
Dragon. Is that the one with Matthew McConaughey?
No, that's Dennis Quaid as the knight that kills yes. It's basically when Sean Connery plays the dragon. It's basically
Sean Connery.
It's like the good, the bad, and the ugly. He just goes from town to town and quote unquote kills the dragon, and then reaps the reward, and they go to the next town and quote unquote kills the dragon again. Yeah, David Thewlis.
Is he still alive?
Who's that?
Oh no, he died.
Postlethwaite?
Yep, 2011, right after this.
Goodness. Okay. Well, rest in peace. An actor we appreciate for sure.
Yep.
So moving down a hero's journey. I mean, what I had really more than anything is that this is it's a redemption story for Cobb. Because ultimately when you get down to it, and you can debate whether or not, and I love Nolan's answer on this, whether or not he's in the dream world or it's real at the end, the fact that he doesn't look back is what's important. The fact that he chooses his kids, whether or not they're real or not, is not what's important. He's forgiven himself and embraced them.
He had to finally have it out with Maul and be done with her.
Yeah.
And then he was able to embrace the kids, who happen to be the same age and in the same position as they have been the whole movie.
We don't know how. See, that's I was going to say, that's a movie thing, though. Like, you're supposed to pretend that kids don't age or that they age. I mean, Corey, how many vacation movies have we had? And those kids, like, they age. They recast them multiple times, and sometimes the brother's older, and sometimes the sister's older. It's a movie, and then we're trying to apply logic that way.
Listen, I'm just saying it could be.
I can't believe I just pulled in vacation for that.
I tell you, all right. You just pulled a Christmas Vacation in here. Just recast the kids. A whole brand new set of kids. You know,
usually Rusty's older.
Rusty. Anyway, well, no. Listen, yeah.
So we don't know, but I think that's the point, though. Like, and I think that's backed up. What the redemption story. I think that's backed up by what Nolan has said. Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Which again is kind of aggravating. He doesn't give us the definitive answer, but that's not the point.
Right? Him confronting Maul in limbo and letting her go,
forgiving himself.
Is the face your final enemy right there, and and in some sense, because she's not real, his enemy is him, everything in him, and what he's conjured her to be.
Absolutely. That's a great point.
As bad and conniving as she is, that's him conniving her and making her into that.
Yes, because
throughout the movie, she's the villain here. She goes in and kills people. Like anytime she appears, it's him doing it. We know it's him.
That's an excellent point.
So I just feel like him confronting her in limbo and letting her go is him confronting what he's made her to be. She's not like that in real life. She's not.
Yeah. And
I can't believe she would be. It's him guilt for what he's done. He's made her into a villain. So there you go.
Dude, that's huge. That's a great point.
I had one poll, Craig. That's all I had. There you go. Oh gosh,
it was a damn good one though.
Where am I?
That was a good one. That's really good. Oh, I appreciate that a lot. We've talked about world building quite a bit. And what's the real world? That's up for debate, obviously. One thing I'd have to point out here, because Justin always says, man, I wish I had a prequel. And there was, I tell him this every time he says this, there was an online prequel comic called Inception, the Cobalt Job. So it's the thing that we see the end of.
Oh.
Where Saido's the target. So there is a little bit of an expanded world, but yes. And I'm glad there's not, though. There's room for a TV show or an origin of the passive tech and all that. I don't want it though.
No, you can't. You can't recreate this now.
Yeah.
This has already been done. You have to leave it.
Yeah. Especially with, all of the spin-off shows that we get from legacy properties at this point, where you're just like, how many of them are really good? Yeah. I mean, like, again, I kind of alluded to earlier, like, neither Justin nor I cared for Alien Earth. We wanted to like it. Gave it a try, really wanted to, and it's like it's so hard to pull that off and thread the needle and do something new but also respect the source material, and then if you throw in the prequel part of it as well, then you paint yourself into a corner. Like, that is, I'm going to go on my soapbox here for just a second, but I don't think Lucas gets nearly enough love for what he did with the prequel trilogy for Star Wars.
Yeah.
How elegantly those things fold in to set up the original film. Like, yes, there's some certain things you have to take leaps on, why does Leia remember her mother, and things like that, or whatever, but like, for the vast majority of it, it fits, and it's, you still have opportunity for surprises, but nothing breaks canon and all those things. So,
well, and that's the thing. If you go and make a spin-off series after this, you're going to have some closure that Nolan doesn't want in this movie. We're going to have to end up spoiling the top spinning, and to see where the next part of this story goes. Is he in a limbo bliss that he's just decided to live in? Because if we bring him out and have him go somewhere else, then we know, okay, so the top did fall, or we know the top didn't fall. You can't. You have to write a closure for something to continue in the story. And I think this is a perfect example of a story that should not have a sequel. A perfect one-off. You can't redo the magic. It's the same as the Sixth Sense. You can't. You already got us on the snap right there at the end. Like, oh my gosh, you can't believe this. You can't recreate that again the second time you watch it. You know it's coming. So,
no, absolutely. And if you think like the fact that it is Dom's story, right? Like, anything outside of that we're not interested in that. And you Corey, that you have a second.
Arthur and Ames going somewhere else. I wouldn't mind that. I could get those
characters
two.
Are fun.
Those two can continue on.
Those characters are fun. But Corey, that was your second great one. At least.
I got it. I'm on a roll. Holy cow! I blacked out.
You don't remind me of two. Have you ever read The Giver?
Yes, I have.
The Giver. Okay. Yes. Have you read? Do you know there's other books?
No.
In that series.
Lois Lowry's no.
Okay. Yeah. Lois Lowry's book. Thank you. Yes. So, but the first book came out several years before the other books. And the way it worked, the second book is basically a parallel story, and then the third book is a sequel that bridges the two together, and then there's also an interquel that happens during, basically before, middle, and after. But when I got into teaching, that was the first time I got introduced to that, and I think those other ones had started to be written and started to come out. But the teacher that I learned from most, and I agree with her opinion, was very much like, I hate that they wrote more books, or she wrote more books, because that book ends in a way that is open for interpretation. Does Jonas live? Does he not live? Is it all in his head?
Yep.
Much like this.
That's
and the fact that they wrote a sequel says, no, here's the definitive ending. This is actually what happened. And like, it ruins the beauty of the argument that you get to have with yourself.
The power of the ending was that it was ambiguous and up to interpretation. Yes. That's the power of it, even though I hate that. And when you write a sequel, you have to go back and stitch it up. And create something out of it. Like, okay, this is where it's going to go for now.
So to sum up, Corey hates ambiguous endings, but appreciates them at the same time.
I do. I got it. I tell you. Double-edged sword on that one.
It is. So, Corey, final thoughts on Inception. Anything else we haven't covered? Anything else you want to say before we wrap?
No, I'm going to say this about Nolan movies, okay? Nolan movies are fantastic. The guy respects you being curious, and he puts curiosity through the whole thing. He weaves a way for you to be stuck on the film and watching and curious and engaged. Most films you end up with a few parts where you can kind of nod off. You can get up, go to the bathroom because you bought the pop at the movie theater, and I don't have to catch this part. This isn't that kind of movie. Like, you're ingrained and you're stuck where you need to be because you've got to watch it or you're going to miss some very key details. And that's where he does. He rewards you with rewatching the movies too. And that's part of my gripe with Nolan, because he has carte blanche from any studio to say, Nolan, cut the runtime down. And he's like, no, I'm not. And they're like, okay, well, you're Christopher Nolan. What are we going to say? Yeah, go ahead, make your movie 148 minutes. So, and that's just where he's at. He rewards you with, okay, you're going to have to watch this again, and you're going to pick up details again the next time, and you're going to watch it again. And 148 minutes, man, I can't watch it 6-7 times. Just say it.
Yeah.
So, but But that's just it. He does such a great world building that we've talked about. He has some great quotes. He has top to bottom casting that just makes it phenomenal, and some scenes that it's not just the characters, it's not just the story, it's the whole world that he builds around it. So it's a great movie. It's ambiguous at the end. I do think it's a dream the whole time. I'm just going to throw that out there. The top is still spinning, and I'm fine to let it keep spinning. So,
yeah, no, I love all that what you said there, and just to kind of echo that, like this is the first of those movies where like he was a made man at this point, right? After The Dark Knight cracks $1 billion and wins an Oscar for Heath Ledger, like yeah, he's what sells the movie. It's a Nolan film at this point, right? And moving forward, he's got carte blanche to make it as long as he wants. He can make it about Greek mythology if he wants. He can make it a historical drama, a couple of historical dramas actually. He can do just completely bonkers, interstellar, time travel and space travel and all the things. It doesn't matter. Like, and I love that there's a filmmaker out there who's not just ripping off some other IP, who's doing creative things, and cares so much about the medium, that he's going to push it forward with, not with CGI, like with everybody else. Like, he's going to push it with IMAX and practical effects and find more creative ways to do that, and just great writing. And so, as much as you said earlier, and I was like, I don't agree that writing was better. He's one of the exceptions, I would say. Like, his writing is top notch and is as good as anything from films that, because I like to watch old films too. I'm like, wow, this is it really is as good as they say.
Yeah.
And like, I think that he's, if he's not there, he's on his way to being there.
Yeah. So I tell you right now, I don't have any interest in watching this story called The Odyssey because I feel like it's going to be an epic tale. But then you say Christopher Nolan directed it, and I'm like, okay, now I'll watch that movie.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's just what he pulls. Yeah. Maybe we should take a bet, though, what we think the runtime is going to be on that film.
Oh, it's going to be over 3 hours.
Oh!
You know it's going to be.
Christopher.
Oppenheimer was.
Christopher!
Yeah. Well, fortunately, this podcast was not over 3 hours. It's a good thing we broke it in two, because we had some time to let it breathe, so I think that was a really smart idea. And we'll keep doing that, I think. A little for a while. So we're going to get out of here. And as we close, we just want to say thanks so much for listening. If you'd like to connect with us, you can find us on X, Instagram, and Facebook. Email us at readingbetweenreels@gmail.com, or you can use the SpeakPipe app. It's right on our website. If you enjoyed the show, please like, follow, subscribe, and be sure to leave us a 5-star review on iTunes or Spotify. And one last thing, our next episode will be the beginning of our coverage of the conclusion of the Dark Knight trilogy as we begin to look at The Dark Knight Rises. So send us an email or voicemail about your favorite moments from The Dark Knight Rises. We'll share it on the next episode.